Alrighty.
We're in.
I've got to mute that sound now. Okay, here we go. Okay, all right. Well, we're all working again. Welcome again to another exegetical role. I think this is the fourth in the series, but it's been all over the place. So if you're having trouble following what's going on, I don't blame you. We're having trouble working that out as well. But we're joined here. I'm Odd Rev, Will Nicholas, the DM. And our players are tonight are Lindsay Cullen playing the glorious Thul, the holier than thou Rigoric, played by Robin Yang, the unforgettable, unmissable, and absolutely necessary Hamlin, played by Amanda Nicholas, and the aquatically frivolous and frolicking Kelfix, who can turn into a dolphin anytime they want to, played by Kelly Skilton. We are all ministers of the Uniting Church, but don't hold that against us. And we all like to role play as well, which the other half of you also don't hold that against us either. Emerging of two different streams. Here in exegetical role, and this is the first time that we are going to be streaming to Sondercloud, which is where a whole bunch of the other streaming ministry that we're involved in happens, and it's also, should be, but I don't know, I'll check it out later on, being archived onto YouTube, so you might be watching it there, but feel free to subscribe to either of those, and leave us any comments. Also, I'll be watching, I have the stream chat comments over here open, so if you want to give any acting suggestions to our role players, then please feel free to pass that on, and I'm sure that they will happily ignore you. Yes, exegetical role. I'll do a recap. You'll remember that you are looking for the prince and his elvish consort, and they have run off together because neither of them want to be responsible or in charge of anything anymore, and have gone to sea to join up with the pirates. That you are now on your way to confront the prince and the elven princess, and to look at convincing them to return back to their prospective lands, so that the impending war that might be happening between their parents, because they both blame each other for what has happened, won't happen. On your way, you've accidentally awakened a pirate ship full of undead pirates that has now gone off to wreak havoc on the ocean, as you do. Also,
with a lich in charge.
That's right. Yes, the lich pirate. Yes. At the end of last week, you did investigate an old spooky tower that was above the beach, and lots of old spooky things happened in that space. So now you're actually going to be heading across to the Pirate Cove, which you have and have not been to before, strangely enough, because the lich used an image of that space to trick you into providing him with some information. So, also I needed to I need to work out how to do this actually. I think Rigoric, you got an acolyte last time as well. One of the lizard folk decided to undergo training in the ways of the Lightbringer.
That's correct. Yes.
In the campaigns thing, can you see the unassigned characters?
Yes. Do I need to assign him?
Can you claim that one?
I will do that.
And then he's yours to do with what you want.
Acolyte.
I don't think we even gave him a name, so you can give him a name if you want. I know how you love coming up with names.
Well, you did give him.
Did I?
You did give him a name.
Was it?
He was the leader of the lizard folk.
Oh, okay. So Thrall, with an X. Is that right? Yes. But anyway, you can put his name in there when you want to.
Thrall.
Yep. Oh, looks like
It was something with a Z, wasn't it?
it was X. It was
TH. Sounds like Thal.
yeah. No, it wasn't Thrall. Hang on, I've got to find the right notebook. Hang on.
Maybe I should rename him. You have a new identity.
Yes. Give him a new name. Give him a new name. Yes, because he's seen the light on the
New name,
road.
all right.
On the road. So there we go.
Yes.
Very good.
Give him a new name.
Very good. All right. On your first journey across the ocean towards the Pirate Cove, with a strong sense of deja vu, as you feel you've done this before, during that night there is a full moon. As you're all sleeping at night time, you, well, not all of you, three of you, excluding Thol, hear a loud voice speaking in a tongue you do not understand, a loud tongue you do not understand. When you go to investigate, you see that it is Thol having some kind of very, very vivid dream in which he is speaking, but you can't understand anything that he is saying. He is rolling and twisting and turning. He doesn't seem to be afraid or in agony or worried. He seems to be conversing with someone, and all of whatever movements he is making in his dream, he's also making as he rolls around the deck of the ship. And after a time, he goes silent and goes into a deep and peaceful sleep. It's loud enough to have awakened all of you. I don't know if you want to do anything else at this point in time, or pursue it with Thal in the morning.
I think that Kelfix just looks over at Ragoric and Hamlin and is like, "You're." Does he do that often?
I will do a double medical check on him just to make sure that he's not actually injured or in any way ill. And if he's fine, then I will let him rest.
He does seem fine, although you have noticed that one lock of his hair seems to have changed kind of position, and it now curls around the top of his forehead in a very cute and endearing way that wasn't there beforehand.
Well, I'm not interested in such things like that, so I will ignore it.
Yeah.
And so the vessel continues on through the night. You each take turns at tending to the tiller, and the sun rises in the morning. And in the morning, as is his practice, it's Rigoric who is taking the first or the last shift of the night, which is to watch the dawning sun. And it is a beautiful morning as the sun rises over the ocean to the east.
So much so that the morning call will be a song of praise to Lathander.
Mm-hmm. So the rest of you are awakened by Rigoric's singing as the sun rises.
My performance check is not very good, but I don't care.
When Thal arises, the first thing he does is he goes out and finds some sort of clear area on the deck of the boat, and starts doing exercises, doing push-ups, and then walking along a line and doing jumps and all sorts of, sort of testing out his barbarian skills, and is looking very puzzled and a little worried.
Mm-hmm.
You all right there, Thol?
Thol calls the whole gang over and says, "Me have something weird to tell you. You know how me was wanting to be paladin, so that I could, be a champion of a god like Rigoric, and do good and stuff. Well, me discovered that me not have sufficient charisma to take that path, and so I was just going to continue as a barbarian. But last night, Dan Castra, who is a god of giants, appeared before me, and she said she had heard my bemoaning and that she was willing to make me her champion, but I would have to pay the price. And I thought, well, I'm the treasurer, I've got the money, so sure, I'll pay the price. And now me woke up and me feel much more charismatic, and he points at his wonderful little, very charming curl. But me strength and dexterity and constitution have all gone down. I'm not the dexterous Thol that I once was. And you see him, attempt a walking along a straight line, and he's still much better than, a regular person, but does seem to have lost just a little of the edge that Thol once had as a large, surprisingly dexterous barbarian, and similarly, he doesn't look quite as powerful in his constitution as he once did, and maybe it's very hard to tell because Thol's strength is so enormous, but maybe there's even a hint that his strength is not quite what it was. But he is looking much more charismatic.
Although his strength is magically enhanced by a magical item, so that probably doesn't have any impact at all. But, yes.
So, who is this?
Me, I'm a champion of D&D.
Who is Castra? Tell us more about this vision you had with Castra.
D&D Castra.
D and Castra.
D&D Castra is a god of a god of giants, and she goes around doing good and stuff, but is a little bit of a prankster, and Thol now think maybe she played a little bit of a prank on me. And yes, so me am a champion of D&D Castra, and I can now do things like sense the goodness or evilness in your character. That's going to be good. If I see any goblins and they're evil, that gives me a good reason to kill them immediately.
But if you see goblins and they're good...
Surely that not happen.
Kelfix looks over at Hamlin and goes, I thought he was going to say kill them immediately.
That's an abomination, that's right.
Be a champion of goodness in a chaotic sort of way.
Well, I for one delight in this encounter. I think whenever divine meets with the mortal, there is always a divine blessing that arises, and whatever changes that you may perceive, they will nonetheless continue to remake and forge you to be the wonderful warrior protector
Rigoric,
that you are.
it's too early in the morning for that. Seriously, okay, we
it's
get
a
it.
glorious.
Something happened. We'll be fine. Just let's. Can we just take it down? Just a notch. Just for a little
I
while.
will emulate a
Me now have hands of healing.
I will sit down with Thal, give him, I don't know what a barbarian handshake is, but and then seek to
Probably the
understand
same.
seek to understand what divine powers he now has.
Celtics is sometimes sitting there, patting Fixel on the head, just watching this interaction play out. In this newly discovered space of Rigoric trying to show joy over someone else now worshipping another god, while questioning gods in general, and Celtics is like, right, carry on. I've got a great conversation.
I am going to just find my flute and quietly just take it out and sitting on the deck, watching all of this happen. I can't change the way they're going to behave, so I'm just going to do my own little thing.
Nice.
As you're playing your flute, 3 dolphins come up into the front bow wave of Heric's Grin and play in the sparkling morning sun. And they seem to be enjoying the sound of your music.
Me check whether they're good or evil.
You're detecting no evil intent from the dolphins.
Okay, they're not evil.
As I watch them dancing in the water, I'm going to change the song that I'm playing to keep time with them and to actually change the way that they are moving and enjoying.
Well, Celtics will just watch along to your newly, dance trio. So.
At some appropriate point as well, I will introduce the newest acolyte to Lathander's, the Morning Lord's cause. Allow me to introduce you to Bolrock Braveheart. Bolrock is celestial for faithful, and our leader has a new identity as he serves the Morning Lord. I will give him a holy symbol of Lathander as in a bit of a ceremony. And the music behind that Hamlin's doing is lovely background music, which is good.
Bolrock receives the holy symbol and is very pleased and honoured to have the introduction that you've given, and turns to face the rising sun to watch it rise across the ocean.
And I will coach him in worship.
And the rest of you could stay around to participate in that activity if you'd like to. Or if you want to do other things, you can go to other parts of the ship. It's not a huge ship, so.
Yeah,
well, in fact, I will insist that Thal would join me as well.
Yeah, and
Oh, that's too nice.
Thal's quite interested in in learning whatever he can, but he's also interested in just if there's any opportunity to get alongside the other acolyte, just to say to him, "Me think it great that you're serving the god, although you pick wrong one. Talk to me sometime about Dear Castra."
He kind of looks at you confused. So Bolrock is a lizard folk. So he's got green scales and looks lizardly. Hamlin. Amanda, you had
Is it
something.
possible that whilst we are... Oh, I've just realised I made a mistake with something here. I'll fix it in a second. Is it possible that while we're doing all of that, looking out beautifully on the water thing, that and they're doing all their thing, that I'm just going to add a little bit of extra to what is happening, and I'm going to cast a dancing lights.
You can do that. Yes.
So to go, I just got to give him the whole show. So
Yeah. So you're the sparkles that were reflecting on the water have now left the surface of the water and are now dancing around the bow of the boat. And the dolphins are actually leaping and I was going to say squealing, but what? How do you describe that? It's sort of a giggle, isn't it? that dolphins make. So
But they
Laughing.
squeak?
Yeah.
What do they
Squeal.
do?
hey,
Laugh.
Hamlin could be singing that song from Bedazzled. You know, dolphin in the sun. You know that one. And he's the most
Oh yes,
sensitive
that was
sensitive
very
person in
don't,
all
we're
of
not
all of the
doing
world.
I was actually thinking, the dolphins
It's
were
not happening.
dancing and leaping out of the water and praising Lathander.
At this time, Kelpix is looking and seeing this magical moment happen and going, oh, you know, this is such a beautiful, look at the gods bringing and raining down their majesty. And it's just Hamlin, but Kelpix doesn't know that. They're like, what?
Yes. So you continue on through the day, and it's in the middle of the afternoon. You're guessing from the maps that you have that you'll have to travel until the middle of the day tomorrow across the ocean. But it's an absolutely beautiful day on the water, a very light swell. But up ahead, you can see on the horizon that as you get closer, you can see that there's a large area of flotsam and jetsam floating in the water. Looks like wood and rubble and barrels. And as you get closer, you can see there are bodies floating in the water as well. Looks like a ship has been completely destroyed in the waters here.
Oh, gosh.
Can we take some time to investigate?
Thol immediately dives in.
Yep.
Thol immediately dives in the water to see if any of the bodies are still alive.
You come across a number of different bodies, but they all seem to be dead. Well, they are dead, but they seem to have been damaged by something very cold. Their skin has been affected as if by frostbite.
Do you think this might be the Lich?
I'll take the time to sort of search, not so much for treasure, but for anything that might be a clue to what's happened, and also without taking too long, sort of searching through the wreckage as well.
Yep. So anything that's of any weight has sunk to the bottom, and you're in very deep ocean water here. So it would take quite a bit of effort to try and get to the bottom. So really what you've got here are shards of wood and broken masts and sail on the surface. And some bodies that have kind of, been tangled in the sail or have been caught on the wood rather than sinking.
Rigori,
Is there any?
what should I do with the bodies? Surely we must do something to honour the dead. That seems like a good thing to do.
Well, I think we definitely must give them a decent burial, perhaps return them to their families. Perhaps we'll bring them on board and return them to Claw Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything
How long
clear
is that going
anywhere?
to take?
Well, you're headed to Claw Bay now, so...
Just as a barbarian, I've got a fair degree of awareness of what happens to dead bodies over time, and
Yes.
I'm just a little worried about the idea of having a hold full of rotting bodies for
I will.
more
I
than
will.
a
I will
day or
treat
so.
them to ensure that they survive the journey.
So you managed to find 5 such bodies, and you're right, in the sun they're going to become fairly ripe in a very short period of time as you travel. But Rigoric, how are you going to treat them?
All right. Well, I'm going to try, firstly, to use my nature and medicine to see whether I can preserve their bodies in a natural way, and if not, then I have a magical spell that I will use to help preserve them.
Yep. It would require tools and herbs you don't have with you to do that with medicine.
Okay.
So perhaps the magical way would be the way to go.
All right. Well, I'll take the prep steps to do that.
Is that a what level spell's that one?
I am looking at my character sheet whilst we do that to try to work that out.
I'm just trying to work out whether or not Boulder can help you as well.
I found, by the way, that his name previously was Rox.
Zrox, yes, that's right. I knew it was an X. Zrox. But he has gladly undertaken the new name that he's been given. The other lizard folk decided not to come along with you on this journey. You lost some of them in the battle with the sharks. Some of them got hurt by the pirates, and so the remaining ones actually decided that they would disperse and make their way back to other places. But Zrox now Baldruck has remained with you, and he is actually able to assist you with the preparation of the bodies. You've managed to bind them up and wrap them in some of the sail that you've salvaged from the ocean, and so you now have this pile of 5 preserved bodies on the front of the ship. Little happens for the rest of the voyage, and in the distance you can see the island approaching. Well, you're approaching the island of Claw Bay that Claw Bay is a part of, and surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, it looks exactly as it did in your dream or vision of this place. Although there is one significant difference as you're approaching it. From the highest peak of the island that Claw Bay is on, there is a steady stream of smoke coming from the island, and it appears to be too large a stream to be coming from a township or any kind of industry. So you notice that as you're approaching, and you can see the 2 big headlands as it was before, with the fort gun emplacements on them, and you're able to sail into this horseshoe or claw-like archipelago with its high cliffs on all sides.
Given that the previous whole outing was a vision and not real, we no longer have a Heric's Grin flag, and so Thol spent some of the time during the voyage making his own version of it, which is not nearly so artistically good, but
Yeah.
the idea.
Yep.
Just saw this like black sheep with this wonky ass like little white like.
Yeah, well, and you actually had that made for you once you had arrived there. So, so that you're actually taking the steps to produce that flag before you're actually asked for it, which is fascinating. So Thol's actually able to pull that together, and you can have that flying as you come in to harbour if you want to.
Sounds good.
So, as you pull into harbour with your colours flying, you're thrown a rope from the wharf by a burly looking goblin, a green skinned goblin, and he calls out, "Ahoy there! Who is the captain of this vessel, and what name does it sail under? I do not recognise the colours," he says.
I am Rigoric of faithful
to see if he's good or evil.
He's evil.
Faithful servant of Lathander, and we are Heric's Grin. We serve under no allegiance but our own. We are here looking for Doc for birthing.
Well, it's always good to have new trade in Claw Bay. I would suggest you go and speak to the harbour master at once and register your vessel, and provide him with your colours.
Gregoric,
We will indeed.
he's evil. Should we smite him now?
He looks at you
No.
a bit strangely.
At peace.
I don't
my friend.
understand.
I apologise about our friend here. In a fun.
We
But
We have,
go find the harbour master.
He says,
count.
no, never mind, no worry. I also keep simpletons aboard my vessel for their sheer strength and ability to get tasks done efficiently and quickly.
Now.
I smile at
Hey.
him and
Thol is going to memorize his face.
And at that time, I look at Thal. I'm like, what's unfortunate, Thal? Carries on.
It would seem that it's time for another song, so I'm going to pull out my flute and just play something that's going to be very upbeat and yet peaceful kind of piece of music, in the hope that it will diffuse the current tension that is underlying, and will provide everyone with a nice warm feeling for the day.
Peace, though. If we kill everyone who speaks ill to us, no one will live.
What?
No, sorry. I've got a foggy head. I'm sorry.
No, I like it. It's good. No one will live.
Violence is a recourse that should be last resort. Otherwise,
Calfix is like, oh,
okay.
that sounds more like gory. Man, this was a weird trip.
Anyway, I'm
Thol's
trying
rather
to tell.
confused, but
I'm trying to give him a theological lesson about non-violence and peace and non-violence. Anyway,
Don't kill him.
I'll go see the harbour
Yeah,
master.
Thol's 5 levels of barbarian and 1 of paladin, so I think the whole non-violence thing might not be a goer.
So, the four of you are heading down the dock to the harbour master. Baldock says that he's happy to stand guard over the vessel until you return. So you arrive at the very familiar offices of the harbour master, who looks up from his writing and says, "Oh, new ships in port. Vessel name."
Heric's Grin.
Heric's Grin. Not heard of that one before. You have colours.
We do.
Okay. A privateer, pirate, scub. So are you a privateer vessel, a pirate vessel, smuggler, or do you do wet
a
work?
vessel that flies under our own colours, and so you can fit us into whatever category you wish to deem us. And we also have some saddened to report that we encountered a ship that had fallen under attack, and we have retrieved the bodies to return to their families.
Ah, yes.
As the guy's writing, Thol sort of leans over the counter and is looking at the form and saying, "Do you have a section for champions of goodness?"
Champions of goodness. Now yes. Everyone here is a champion of goodness here at Claw Bay. Yes.
We've come to the right place.
You have come to the right place. I'm going to put you down as privateers then. Sounds like you're doing a bit of everything. What's your business here in Claw Bay?
We are here for a stayover. We're needing to resupply, and we are looking for work.
Well, there's plenty of work to be done. there's we can certainly hook you up with a number of different tasks. So come back and see me when you're ready. But everything seems to be in order here. Under normal circumstances, vessels that have turned up for the first time would need to qualify, but it seems that you have your name and your colours, and so we recognise your vessel as one that can act and work out of Claw Bay. As he's finishing,
Do I remember his name?
yes, his name was Trent.
Thank you, Harbour Master Trent. Thank you for your welcome.
Oh, he says, "You have me at a disadvantage, Captain Rigoric. I have we met before?"
Oh, your name and reputation precedes you.
Trent suddenly is slapped on the back by a big burly-looking pirate with an eye patch and a parrot on his shoulder, who says, "No, I recognise his companion Hamlin anywhere. Hamlin, it's been a long time since I've seen you in Claw Bay." You could see it's one of your gambling associates from some time before. He says, "What brings you?" His name is Marcus. What brings you back here at this time?
Marcus, my good friend. Good to see you once more. We are on but a journey at this stage, and this is our first port of call.
I thought you might have come to hand over more of your hard-earned gold to me.
Not nearly. There will be time for games, but that is not today.
Oh well, if you're looking to have a game, look me up at the Prancing Parrot.
Thank you, I shall do. I wonder if you can tell me, are all of the connections in the city still the same?
No.
And I'm looking to find out from him whether all of the places where we might get the appropriate information about how to do the next thing would be still within, still in practicing.
He says, "This definitely sounds like a conversation we should have over over an ale. Perhaps you'll join me there once you've finished getting all of your entry requirements done."
That sounds good. My friends and I will be looking for some food and a good drink for the day before the day is out.
He turns and leaves. Trent says, "Well, look, everything is in order here. If you'd like to check out what work is available, then come and see me tomorrow. But feel free to enter into the harbour and beyond and conduct whatever business. I just will remind you that there's been a change to the way that the Claw Bay has been operating, and the new Pirate King has set a number of guidelines in place. So no brawling, no fighting in the streets, and any issues that need to be dealt with should be brought up with the magistrate."
Sounds civil.
Sounds odd. Sounds not very piratey.
Yes,
I would
yes.
imagine these. Sorry.
Definitely not very piratey. Not all of us are overly happy with it, but at the moment there's money to be made, so what can you do?
While that's happening, Kelfix is going to point up at the hill with the billowing smoke. Be like, "What's that?"
Oh, that's old Garax. The mountain here, named Garax after an ancient dragon, has been dormant for quite some time, but for the last few days, it's been a rumbling.
Dragon.
Yes, yeah.
Drag.
Well, that's the mountain's named after a dragon. The people who first came here believed that this old island was once the lair of a great and ancient dragon. So the mountain is called Garax, and when it rumbles, people say to themselves, they say a small deference to the old dragon, in the hope that no more than rumblings and a small amount of smoke will come forth.
Kelfix holds that thought in full knowledge of knowing, all the creatures of the land. Just pegs that thought of, oh, there could be a dragon. Right. Pulls Pixel.
Not only that, but I've also believed that this dragon is of importance. But I have to roll my religious and history checks to remember. But I won't say that in front of the Harbour Master. Thank you. We will be going.
Yep. So he dismisses you and goes back to his work. Yes. So where to from here?
Before we decide, Garax, I'm making. Can you 19 for a history check?
Oh, that's a good roll. That is.
Yes.
Garax. The name Garax does appear in the Chronicles of Shanti. And is ascribed to an ancient red dragon. Shanti had numerous dealings with a dragon called Garax, who was both at times read to be an ally and friend, and at other times to be an enemy and an adversary.
Is there any religious connections with this that I can recall? Even better for religion.
You believe that Garax had aspirations on deification, and is well known to manipulate mortals to the ends of gaining what he might need in order to ascend.
I will be sharing this with my companions.
In that moment, when you share that, Kelfix looks at Thal and goes, "You think your good and bad can work on the dragon?"
Me not know. Me was going to ask Gregoric, is it good if more people become deified because there's more gods, or is that bad because competition increases? Me not understand theology.
Wow, let me tell you. I will start to talk a bit of theology, but at the same time,
It's a good question. Do gods have to share their divine power with each other, or is divine power an infinite resource?
and in
When,
all
you know, when they
truth,
have a divine
Presumably
dinner,
are a finite resource.
well, in all truthfulness, Gregoric has always been brought up with the belief that there was only one God, and one God alone, the Morning Lord, and is still questioning the question, still wanting to understand the question of how does multiple gods work. Gregoric is currently under the belief, and I'll share this with Thal, that what if there is a hierarchy within the deity, and that the Morning Lord is Lord over all, but has given freedom and for all gods to coexist, deities to exist.
Or what if Dian Castra is Lord over all, being a giant and therefore bigger?
Well, the sun goes over all the mountains and all giants and all creation. Well, this is the theology that we begin to embark on.
So as you're having this theological discussion, are you walking back to the ship or towards the prancing parrot?
I just want to have we buried the peoples yet?
You haven't actually dealt with the people yet, no.
I would like to deal with that first.
Deal with the people
Okay.
before they get ripe.
Yep. So you head back to the ship. How are you go? What's your plan on that? I mean, where do you think you might like to deposit them?
harbour masters.
Take them back to the harbour master.
Well, we'll ask the harbour master for his advice.
The harbour master says to you, he says, I note, unusually for a pirate captain, that you bear the markings of the Morning Lord. We don't get many of your order undertaking piracy on the high seas.
Well, we are, as you say, privateers.
But it's interesting that you should appear here because the new pirate king has instituted that there be a shrine to the Morning Lord built just inside the harbour. So perhaps you could go there.
Well, thank you. That's very helpful information.
Who is this pirate king?
As well, is there some? I was about to say, is there any way we could trace the families? Like, do we know that these people bodies come from Claw Bay?
You could actually bring them to the harbour master, and he could see if he can identify any of them.
Okay. Hamlin, you're going to say something.
Yeah, well, I think we.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm going to.
Go ahead, Amanda.
I'm going to just while we start. Sorry, I think I have some lag at the moment too. And I've also got a young one with music going in the other room. So, I think I'm going to quietly find a way to excuse myself from this part of the gathering, just to go and make some very quiet inquiries about what things are like now with the new Pirate King and other bits and pieces. I don't want to actually disappear away from everybody, but I think I'd like to just go and see if I can get my drink early.
Yep. So the party is aware. The rest of the party is aware that Hamlin's about to slip off to make their own arrangements about how to get into to find out more information about this kind of stuff.
I will say to Hamlin before you go.
Yep.
Please, no crawling through any sewers.
No sewers. I just would like to see if I can reconnect with some people that might be able to offer us a bit of insight into what things are like now and how things are looking.
Yep.
It just strikes me as odd.
Connections.
I'm something doesn't feel quite right. There's a what's the phrase that he used? I don't know. So worrying in my colon.
A worrying feeling in my colon. Very good. So the rest of you bring the bodies to the harbour master. Hamlin goes to the prancing parrot, and Marcus is there. And Marcus says, "I'm sure that from the winnings of the last time we played a round of cards, I can afford to buy you a drink. What will you have, my good friend Hamlin?"
Oh, that would be delightful. I am going to see if I can. I'll order something that's kind of splashy on the menu.
Yep.
That's kind of like whatever it was that was my preferred drink whenever we were here prior to that. But I'm going to pay very particular attention to how it's being poured and who's opening it and doing all those things. I'd like to make sure that it's not actually being messed around with at all.
Yep. Yeah, well, you're able to keep a good eye on it, and there is no shenanigans with the drinks. Marcus seems legitimate and beckons you over to a quiet table in the corner of the bar. He says to you, "My good friend Hamlin, things are not as they had been previously. Whilst Claw Bay is a lot more peaceful and safer than it once was, it is much harder to get any business done in this place at this point in time. The new Pirate King has made several changes that are causing unrest amongst the Council of Captains."
Marcus, my friend, I am immensely curious about who this new Pirate King is. What can you tell me about them?
He goes by the name of Captain Spur.
Captain Spur?
Yes, and he has with him an elven friend known as Captain Greenleaf.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Hmm.
Interestingly, when any of the captain's council actually raise concerns about him, he invites them to a meeting and they come away in full support of any decision that they might have been going to argue against.
This does not seem right.
No. Even Captain Greenskin seems to be agreeing to these changes, which is just very unlike him, as you might know.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. I wonder if Greenskin would be up for a drink.
Well, he's in harbour at the moment. You could go and have a chat with him. Perhaps we could invite him to sit down with us.
Well, it might be nice. It's been such a long time since we've seen one another. Why not?
Perhaps, yes, that would be good. I'll be here, so if you'd like to return with him, then we can have a chat together, and perhaps bring your friends along.
I will indeed do that. I will indeed. Will, as I'm finishing the conversation and doing this with him, I'm just wanting to check against my I'm trying to find the right ability thing. I'm looking for. Is there anything unsaid in what he has relayed to me, or is he actually genuinely, this is his whole...
To check that, then you would need to make a check on your perception, would be the right one there, to perceive whether or not he's on the level.
Gosh, sorry, the music just got louder in here. I thought I was just going to manage it.
Surprisingly, we can't hear him.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
I actually can hear that music.
Can you?
So, yeah.
I wonder if I can turn it down with my phone.
I can hear a bit.
Oh, did you just turn it down with your phone?
No, I just muted my microphone. I'll fix that in a second. Sorry, you said I was looking for perception, yes?
Yes, that's correct.
I just love it how you guys are like, oh, let us turn that on.
Oh, I can't do that because I'm... Okay, let me get back on there. Oh, yep, I've just turned it down. That should work. Did that work?
That's terrible.
Has it gone loud? Oh, your roll is bad.
Oh, it's 16.
My roll was terrible.
On my end, it says 16.
Yes,
So
the one before that.
Oh, right.
yeah, so
yeah.
I'll take the second one, and you're certain that he's being straight with you. He in fact he looks very troubled by what he's We're having a battle now of volumes. Look here, watch.
Oh, you turned it down. Oh, I see. I'll talk to him.
There you go.
anyway,
See,
and
I've
I'll
just
send
turned it.
a
Oh, look, it's come
broadcast
back up again. I just turned it down. Now it'll go back up. Ready? Oh no.
Unless he's glued on.
Wait, so who's on the? Is Charlie doing the other?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Charlie's using our
yeah.
bathroom Google Nest speaker. So, welcome.
I think he might glue on and be like, wait a minute, maybe they're asking me to turn it down.
Welcome to modern parenting.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, that's hilarious. I love it.
Can we just move on, please?
Yes. All right.
The world doesn't need to hear about my child while they're going to.
Alrighty. So, you're sure that he is telling you the truth, but he does seem to be hiding the fact that he is more disturbed than his bravado is letting on. Yes. So yes. The rest of you have been able to haul the bodies.
I'm going to find my way back to the others.
Yep. You find them at the.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say I'm going to find my way back to the others. Which one of us is talking?
You go.
Okay. I'm going to find my way back to the others and relay to them the conversation that I just had with Marcus. And then ask if, like, I want them to be aware of what we're doing. So are they okay if we just progress to the next thing, which is to try and find Greenskin and have a conversation with him?
So the others have managed to get the bodies
Sol
to
wants
Trent.
to check. Is it Greenskin the goblin
Yes,
pirate?
that's if it's from the vision. You remember that? Yes.
That doesn't sound very good. I remember fighting him. Maybe we should do that again.
Maybe we don't need to. It sounds as though things are different here.
So Trent
And
has been
Sol,
able.
I ask you this question: do you trust me?
We've got some lag, I think.
So who are you asking?
Sol.
Oh.
Oh.
Yes, me trust you.
So
But me not trust goblins.
So Trent has actually been able to identify all 5 of the bodies as being crew of the Gallant Gull, and is very disturbed to hear that there is, from your account, nothing left of this ship. It carried 150 souls. It was quite a significant ship, and was one of the ships that the Pirate King was most fond of. One of the people that came on board the island just after his proclamation as Pirate King was the captain.
Sorry, I was in a bit of a coughing fit. So, did I hear you say that one of the bodies that we found was a person known by the Pirate King?
All 5 of them were crew of the Gallant Gull, which was a ship that started to come into service from one of the new Pirate King's men, as a captain. So it's very disturbing to hear that this vessel is now gone.
Might give
So
us a
we've got-
reason to go and talk to the Pirate King.
So we've
Indeed.
got 2 options, do we?
Sorry, say that again, Sol.
It might give us a good excuse to go and talk to the Pirate King if this
Yes, I
ship was one of his minions.
yes, I hear that. However, I have concerns as in talking to my good friend Marcus, it would seem that anybody who approaches the Pirate King with any kind of query about anything comes away completely different and in full support of the Pirate King. I'm not certain I'm ready to speak to the Pirate King yet without some more information.
Well, if he and the priestess, the druid, his companion, are adept in magic and illusion and such, mind control, then that's not that difficult to do. Perhaps we should find out as much as we can before we introduce ourselves to the Pirate King.
I mean, it is possible. The other option would be that I could go and approach the Pirate King, but I could go as one of his captains already.
Me could
And
go
someone
and
who's
discern whether he good or evil.
Yes, but I think that's a step down the line. I think we need to do a couple of things first before we can do that.
May I suggest
Should
that
we go and talk to the jeweler?
Hamlin's companion?
No, I don't think we need to see the jeweler this time. I think we'll be okay without the jeweler on this particular adventure in the city. I mean, I don't know about you, Rigoric, or Kelfix, but I'm
Oh.
okay without seeing the jeweler.
I agree.
No
No jeweler.
Okay.
no
Maybe
jeweler
next visit,
necessary.
Carl,
That would
maybe
just
next
brought
visit.
trouble. Let's go and talk to Hamlin's friend, find out what we can, and then let's work out how to introduce ourselves to the Pirate King.
So it is possible for us to go and find so if we're going to go and find Greenskin, somebody that we already know, but we could try and see what else we can capture from around the place. As we're walking back sort of between the two places, I'm wondering if there's any signs around in the city that might, like, is there anything that I observed that gives a better indication of the kinds of things that Marcus might have been talking about?
Yeah, there seem to be armed patrols moving through, keeping the peace in this space. And they're wearing the crest of a spur, like a silver spur, and you've never experienced any kind of constabulary in this city before. So it's a very strange thing that's actually happening here. There's been an ordering of things, and you can see that as you're all kind of walking out into the city wider, you can see that there is a huge construction out of stone being built. Looks like a temple to the Morning Lord is being built in this space.
As we're walking, Thol suddenly stops and grabs Rigoric and says, "Me really confused. Hamlin says we know Captain Greenskin, but Thol only remembers knowing Greenskin because we fought Greenskin in last visit, which was only vision. Do we know Greenskin or do we not know Greenskin? And did what happened before really happen or not? Thol confused."
Oh, Thal. It is
Great
confusing
questions.
times.
Great questions.
Very confusing times. But my suggestion is let's assume that everything we saw in the vision was a trick by the Lich to steal information from our minds.
So we don't know Greenskin.
We don't.
Okay.
Right. As you're re-entering for Hamlin re-entering the Prancing Parrot, you can see that the table you were sitting at before with Marcus, standing next to that table is a large minotaur with his arms folded. You all recognise him straight away as Mr. Smite, and sitting next to Marcus is a green-skinned pirate goblin with a large flourishing hat and a feather in it. The two of them seem to be engrossed in a conversation together.
It's remarkable how the Lich seems to very accurately depict everything in this place.
I am going to not explain loudly, but with a sense of like, I don't know. I'm happy to see you move towards where Greenskin is, and put my hand out to shake Mr. Smites. Like, I'm gonna go and approach Mr. Smite to you know, yeah, go. I'm just gonna go.
So as you all are approaching the table, Mr. Smite does move to intercept. He doesn't make any. He doesn't say anything, but he's eyeing Thol off intently as another larger adversary, he stands menacingly to try and intimidate, to show you all that any attempt to do anything Violent will not be tolerated by him, and then steps aside to allow you all to sit.
Thol doesn't sit. Thol stands next to Mr.
Um,
Smite, gently stroking the edge of his great axe.
Except that Thal can't actually get that close to Mr. Smite because Hamlin has already seen this and is standing directly next to Mr. Smite and is actually going to talk him down a little bit and get him to just, relax just a little bit. I'm going to do all the things. Can I make a persuasion check?
Yep, yeah, do that. While you're doing that, Mr. Smite very quickly recognises Thol's challenge and stands eye to eye with him, which creates a very amusing kind of scenario where Hamlin is now standing between two large figures, attempting to persuade peacefulness and doing so exceptionally well. Smite is prepared to take a step back, and Thol also feels that there is wisdom in Hamlin's suggestion as well. But the tension between them is
Thol,
palpable.
why don't you sit here next to? Yeah. Thol, take a seat. We're going to be here for a while, and I move him in to sit next to Rigoric.
All right. Thol sit.
Take a seat.
But I keep staring.
I'll also lean
when
over
you
and
talk.
whisper to Thol, also look out for any other characters in this bar who may potentially seek to give us grief. You are our eyes and ears, my friend.
So yep,
everybody's settled in it.
Go ahead.
And it looks like we're going to, once everybody's settled down, it looks like we're going to have a relatively peaceful conversation. I'm going to begin with Greenskin and just see if I can figure out where he's at and get him to give me the lowdown on all the things, and that will tell me fairly quickly or not where he stands with the Pirate King.
Greenskin looks at you and says Marcus says you're here, you're asking questions about the Pirate King. He says things have changed here, and the rumors and legends about what lies beneath this island are true.
Are true. Have you seen with your own eyes? True.
Yes, I have.
That's a bold claim to say that you've seen a dragon.
I wouldn't be saying that out loud if I were you.
He looks at Rigoric wide-eyed, and says, shh, "We don't speak of such things in a public space. If word were to get out, then that might cause panic. But yes, I can confirm that what you say is true. I have seen it with my own eyes."
So tell me, what has happened here since we were last in town?
The dragon promises us great wealth and fortune if we help to build his kingdom, and all he requires from us is that we continue to create issue and havoc up and down the coastline. I have not only seen the dragon, but the great hoard of wealth that the dragon possesses.
Okay. And news of this new king?
The new king, the pirate king, has come from lands abroad. Some suggest that he may actually be true royalty, but I don't see it.
And have you met this pirate king?
Oh yes, yes, because the pirate king is now the head of the pirate council. So I went to see him because I had some concerns about some of the new decrees and the ways that things were being organised. But after I met Garrix, all of my concerns were relieved.
I see, I see. It must have been good to have had your concerns relieved in such an encouraging and positive way.
Indeed, indeed. So perhaps I should organise an audience for you as a new captain, Captain Rigoric, with the Pirate King and the great Lord Garrax.
One step at a time. What? So, you say that you are appeased, perhaps. What do you believe is the what do you believe Garrix will do?
Oh,
Do you
Garrix!
believe?
Garrix just wants to amass wealth like the rest of us, to live a life of luxury and he has a vision to make Claw Bay the central point of all of the lands and nations around this area.
And this is in direct conflict with the Pirate King's agenda, by the sounds of it.
Oh, wealth and power have always been our agenda, and if we don't have to work for it and it's not as dangerous, then perhaps that's a good thing.
So I'm hearing that your allegiance is solely now towards Garrix.
Indeed, it seems to be the right option.
And many agree with you? Many pirate lords agree with you?
The entire pirate council is in agreement. Each of us have had our audience, and each of us have come back. I must say I wasn't sure about it before I had my audience and thought perhaps the other pirates had sold out strangely. But now, after having my audience with Lord Garrax, I am certain.
So the Pirate King and Garrix are... Sorry. So the Pirate King... So you believe the Pirate King is... and the Garrix are worth supporting to the best of your and our abilities?
Indeed, indeed. Because if the Pirate King is able to assist the Lord Garrax to actually achieve his ends, then it means wealth and power and glory for all of us.
At this point, Thal leans forward and says, maybe we should solve this with an arm wrestling competition. Choose your champion.
Smite leans forward and says,
Oh dear.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. Do you want to test your strength against mine?
Yes.
Well, little man, let us do so. And the winner will prove to be of strength of might to be correct in
Let
this.
them do so.
Correct.
Kelfix is actually quite more than happy to let Thal go for it and is fully convinced that Thal's going to win. Kelfix is like, carry on.
Thal turns to Kelfix and says, hit me.
No.
Hit me.
Kelfix might be like, haha.
Good one, good one.
Is it enough to do 1 point of damage?
Let's get a roll. Let's do a roll to see how it goes
We're
from
not
Kelfix.
hitting you.
I have like no strength at all.
Kelfix can make an unarmed attack roll with her strike, and we'll see how it
Oh,
goes.
for goodness sakes.
All right, guys, just one sec.
So with the
Even with +3.
with all the might of a wet piece of lettuce, Celthix strikes Thal on the side of the face, but it's an ineffective blow.
Well, it's ineffective, but it's probably enough to G me up. It won't
Do
keep
you know
me
what?
in a rage, but
I'm
it's
gonna
enough to G me up to get into a rage.
I'm gonna say, oh, for goodness sakes, Celtics. He said hit him, and I'm going to actually do likewise.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
Let's see
Give
Hamlin's
him a good
strike.
backhanded. Yeah, there we go. So let me just.
I love requiring the dice to cooperate with us. It's fantastic.
So I'm using my dexterity to get it landing in just the right spot, right?
Sure. Yep.
Oh, what did I miss? What did I miss?
So I'm going to allow you to make a performance check as well, to see if that will
nice.
enhance the
Okay,
blow.
Oh yes, full on wind up.
It will. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong one. It will definitely.
Wait,
It will indeed.
is Thal gonna Hulk out?
That's what we're trying to do.
Oh, that was
Okay.
very much gonna Hulk out.
So with a flourish of performance, Hamlin is able to allow themselves to add 3 to their attack, which actually brings the armor class up to 17, which is enough to incite Thal's rage and ire as he begins to take Mr. Smite's hand.
Right. And so I mean, the real point of this, it doesn't actually change my strength stats, but it does mean that I suddenly increase in size to a giant sort of size as I lean over and glare. And I'm going to try an intimidation check.
Oh, good one.
Yes, do that. So you go from being smaller than Mr. Smite to being a head larger than Mr. Smite.
So while this
16
is
on my
happening,
intimidation.
And he is
I'm now
intimidated.
I'm standing there, but I'm also just going to be watching what's happening around. I want to make sure we're not going to draw the wrong attention during the course of the conversation.
Oh,
and the
you've drawn all of the attention. There.
Yes, I know that, but I'm just wanting to watch what's happening in the crowd as they are.
And in fact, Marcus leans over to you, Hamlin, and says, 10 crowns, says Mr. Smite, remains unbeaten after this arm wrestle.
Man, you had to do it, didn't you? I'm going to say I'll double that. And it is without a doubt that my good friend Thal will absolutely wipe the floor with Mr. Smite.
All in,
Hamlin,
all in.
Hamlin, you do like to lose money to me. I'll accept your 20 crown wager, and we'll enjoy it. And you can see that there's money changing hands all over the bar at the moment, with people getting in on the action. And so what we're going to do is...
Would it be terrible of me to suggest that this would be an excellent time for a sleight of hand, and I could just see if I could do some wonderful collection? But you know what? I'm not going to sleight of hand it. I'm actually going to be really, really bold about it. Because the only rules are about no brawling, and no fighting in the streets. Yeah?
Yep.
We're not in the streets and we're
Nope.
not brawling. So
Nope.
I think we're good to go here. So I'm going to say to you, okay, I'm actually going to stand on the table and offer a motivational speech in terms of having everybody get on board and say, okay, my friends, you want to see the best arm wrestle there's ever been in this place. I can tell you now that my good friend here, Thal, will outperform Mr. Smite any second of any day. And I'm going to use my motivational speech thingy to do that.
Yep.
And that if you would like to be part of the winning conversation, that you can drop your your wager into my. I'm going to use one of my instrument cases here, and we will ensure that it all goes to a good. What's the word? That it's actually becomes part of a good outcome at the end of this, and we'll go to a worthy cause.
So what odds are you offering, Hamlin? Somebody calls out from the group.
Oh, the odds. What odds am I offering? I'm going to look at Thal and say to him, you better be sure you can pull this off right now.
Me
my friend."
untested champion, not known here. Me think you should be offering like 10 to 1.
I was going to say, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, untested champion definitely, and there is some other things now in play that weren't in play earlier. I'm going to say 20 to 1.
20 to 1. So
that will absolutely wipe the floor with you.
Everybody in the bar is keen to get on board with some of this action. It means that you're going to pay out 20 crowns for every 1 crown that they throw into your instrument case.
Now, at this moment, Kelvix goes.
But this is not going to happen.
We don't have that.
As you're watching, as people are tossing their crowns in, you look at the pile of crowns that have now gone into the instrument case, and you would guess, just having a look at you would estimate that there's close to 2,000 crowns in the instrument case.
Bad feeling about it.
So that will mean that you'll have to pay out 40. What is it? No, is it 10 to 1? 20,000. No. 40,000 crowns should Thal lose this match. So the way I'm gonna
Got a bad
I'm
feeling
looking at
about
Thal
this.
going, Thal, does that work?
the
Treasure.
Got a bad feeling.
No,
about this.
but this is all part of if there is the greatest treasure here ever, right? Then this is actually all speaking into their current thinking and their current way
No
of
more talk.
understanding.
Let's.
So the way we're going to do this is by opposed strength rolls, or actually we're going to use athletics rolls. Actually, opposed athletics rolls. The first, so I'm going to
Can you
keep.
hold on a second?
Yep.
Yes?
Thal, before.
Actually, this is 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Dinner time.
Yes.
So shall we return with the grand arm wrestle at the end of at 8 o'clock?
We do
Yes.
that?
At 8 o'clock.
I think we should.
At 8 o'clock,
Yeah,
there will be a
beautiful.
grand arm wrestle. So
Yeah,
Well, that's right. Thal needs the meal before attacking. So
I
maybe-
do.
yeah.
fantastic.
We gotta check in on a child. So.
Fantastic.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll see you all back here at
So
8
what's
o'clock.
here? We're looking out of this.
Just stay here. I'll stop the stream and you'll be fine. Just sit where you are.
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks
You
all.
can turn the camera off. Oh, there you go.